Hi, fiber friends. Welcome to episode 10 of the Botanical Knitter vlogcast. I am Emily. I'm a knitter, spinner, natural dyer, sometimes sewer, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can find me on Instagram as the Botanical Knitter and on Ravelry as Botanical Knitter. Done. Okay, this episode is focused all things Portland, sacred sheep. So I'm going to be talking a lot about some acquisitions, some future knitting plans, all of the fun things that happened while I was in Portland for a few days, and of course, all the fun time that I was able to fit in. I am wearing one knitted object, and that is my Brownstone beanie by Tori Knits NYC, and it was made using Oil Slick by KaceyKnits, and it's on the yak base, and it's nice. I am flying home in a few hours, and so cozy, and also trying to wear my bulkiest items beyond my hand knits because I'm flying home with a few things. I'm at my Airbnb in Portland in the Hawthorne neighborhood. It's really cute. It has a fire. It has this porch that I'm looking at, and I have the doors open. It has sliding doors, and they open both ways, so you can walk in and walk out, and it creates this huge opening. It's around 50s, maybe high 50s, which is really comfortable to me. So I have like the cold air coming in and the fire at my back, and this is peak. So let's start with, I flew in on Wednesday, so a handful of days. Today is Sunday, November 5th. I flew in on Wednesday. I had a work event here in Portland with a bunch of my colleagues from the Western states and the Midwest, and it was perfectly timed. This work meeting was scheduled, and then Sacred Sheep was announced, and I was like, well, isn't that destiny? So on Wednesday, I flew in early, and I ended up going with some friends to get pizza, work friends, pizza and beers at Double Mountain Brewery. And then we walked in the rain to Starlight Knitting Society because I feel like that's a place you have to check out when you're in Portland. And I thought it was really cute. Like, it was a really cute shop. So I ended up purchasing a shirt because she's so cute. I'm a big, if you haven't noticed, I like beer. I'm kind of a beer snot, but I do love a Miller High Life, like, so much. And I like this logo because it reminds me of that a bit. I also purchased the Spincycle colorway that's unique to the shop. It's Andromeda, and I'm gonna see if it focuses. Let's see. Oh, there she goes. Okay, isn't it pretty? I always think Spincycle is pretty wild, like how it varies, like from skein to skein, even if it's the same colorway, and I get the process. So this I got probably to do some sort of color work piece, but I really liked it and kind of had to have it. I'm not usually a Spincycle buyer, but this one is like purples and greens, which is my jam. So then I worked Thursday, worked Friday. We ended up doing a work group, one of the free nights to Powell's, the bookstore. And then we also went to a brewery. I'll show you a couple of things that I got at Powell's because I know the bookish intersection with yarn and fiber is real. My wardrobe, if I'm not wearing a hand knit sweater, is a crew neck sweatshirt and leggings. So I got this adorable sweatshirt, crew neck sweatshirt from Powell's. It's really thin and soft. It's a gal reading, and look, flowers. So I purchased that. You'll see a theme in my purchases. I also got 2 books. I'm not gonna show one book because it's a gift, but I did get 2 Twisted Crowns, which is the second book in the series. The first one is The One Dark Window. I finished it recently and wanted to buy it at a local bookstore, but I was like, I'm gonna be in Powell's in a couple of days. I should like slow my roll and buy something fun there. So that was my Powell's haul. Friday we met most of the day, and then we had the afternoon, and most folks traveled home. I stayed here because Sacred Sheep was on Saturday. I ended up going to the Craft Emporium. Knitted Wit, the Craft Emporium had a Friday, and I think on Sunday today they're doing a market with some vendors that aren't going to be at Sacred Sheep. And it was a space to like come have snacks and knit and enjoy each other's company. And there was spinning, and I bet there was probably crocheting too. So it was really fun to see that. Knitted Wit was one of the first indie dyers I stumbled across on Instagram when I started my knitting deep dive into, you know, that black hole that we all fall into. And so I only purchased one thing at Knitted Wit. It was so fun to see all the different colorways and all of the fabrics in person at Craft Emporium. But I went because I wanted to see that crafty little fox. You've seen these bags. I have the ghost bag. I have the bag that I purchased at Flock. I had to. They're just so beautifully made. So I got the Little Boss, which can definitely fit a shawl, obviously socks, hat. It's pretty roomy. Like, spoiler, here's some yarn coming. Like, this fits probably 2 more skeins. So it's a good size bag. So I was excited to pick that. It's green. It has flowers, wax canvas, leather. What else do you need? Oh, and my earrings just fell out of it from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. At the Knitted Wit event, the Craft Emporium event, it was fun because Leslie from Twin Mountain Handcrafts was there. Kirsten from the Knit Shit was there, which was really fun because I didn't know that she was gonna be there. So that was pretty delightful. It was just, and Karen, Care Wears on Instagram. I haven't met her in real life, but she grew up in Minnesota, I think, and moved out to Portland. So it was fun. I like walked in, I was like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. And it was pretty dreamy. So then Friday, I ended up doing like lunch by myself. I walked to a food truck pod. Is that what the Portlandians call them? I got a sushi burrito and a beer, and I read my book and chilled. Did Knitted Wit. And then met some work colleagues for tacos at Porque No. I'd gone there a while ago, and it was fun to come back, like years ago. And then we went to Cascade Brewing, and I knit, and we played a board game, and it was pretty chill. Saturday, the day, sorry, 7 minutes, we've arrived at the thing, the reason why you're probably here, and that was Sacred Sheep. It was a great event. It was a really nice event. I think the Woolen Folk thing made the organizers, Rachel, I believe, at Ritual Dyes, like very cognizant of all of the things. Like, it seemed really intentional planning leading up to it, but definitely in light of Woolen Folk, it seemed like a great event. Some of the vendors I talked to seemed to think so too. I know all the folks that I was with really enjoyed it. There was the initial rush so the event started noon to 7. There were some VIP tickets that were early entry, maybe at 11, and there were some classes that had happened the morning. We got in line around 12:15. We stood in line for probably 45 minutes, but it was very pleasant. It wasn't raining, the sun was out. I actually was sweating in my sweater, knitting in line, talking with the people around us. Volunteers were often going through the line, making sure like, oh, are you a volunteer? Go here. Are you registered for a class? You don't have to wait in line, or like have your passes ready. Like, it was just lots of communication. They also went around handing out maps, which I know was a thing that popped up at Woolen Folk. And so the vendor map very clearly said who's there, the layout of the space, had all of the sponsors recognized, and then Pom Pom, RIP Pom Pom, hosted several meetups, so it had that schedule. They also did a collaboration with the Making app, which was nice. And so Jen, who is like style icon, was there and doing podcast interviews and all of that. So we got in like 1 o'clock. We were there, we were shopping. We had a big breakfast. And when I say we, I should back her up. Nicole from Professor Pearl and I did the Sacred Sheep thing together. You've all heard me talk about our milkweed DK. I finished mine. Nicole hysterically did not, and it's hysterical because she wore her whip. So she had needles hanging off of one side, barber cords on the other, and then she was still finishing her hem. And so had barber cords, like a little barber cord tail hanging out, and that was pretty adorable. So Nicole picked me up. She's in the Portlandia area. She picked me up at my Airbnb. We went and got breakfast at Pine State Biscuits. I got fried chicken, biscuit, cheddar cheese, apple butter, bacon. So we were full. It was like a good filling breakfast. So back where we were. So we get into the space, and it was busy at first, but it was comfortable. And like, you saw a busy booth, you just walked by and you're like, I'll swing back around. It was a very long rectangle shaped hall. And right when you walk in, there was merch. The merch line was not bad. So right away, because this logo is so good, I got this giant ass tote. It's huge. I mean, my corgi could very comfortably fit in this, and it was perfect for shopping. So I got this tote. And again, remember what I said about crew necks being my capsule wardrobe? I got the Sacred Sheep crew neck, and like, it's so cute. I'm a little anxious about how this is gonna wash, but I think as long as I wash it inside out, it'll be okay. But I love the logo. And then I also got a sticker for my stickery things, which I can't find it. It's the same logo in glittery and gold, which is cool. So when I first walked in, we saw beyond the merch table was Jam PDX, the amazing pottery gals. Silly Goose Yarns, my friend Courtney, was a couple down from their booth at Flock, so we got to know those two, and they're so much fun. I can't remember if they're sisters or just incredibly adorable friends, but it was nice to catch up with them. And then went straight to Twin Mountain Handcrafts because we all know your girl loves Twin Mountain Handcrafts. So I did get one stitch marker set, and it's exclusive for Sacred Sheep. And we know I love resin. I love these hooks. Let's see if it'll focus. We'll go right there. There. So some sheep, a skein of yarn, really cute, colorful. There was an iridescent one, but I let Nicole get that because I have lots of iridescent things from them. So I was versatile. I changed it up. So Twin Mountain Handcraft stitches, stitch markers, got those. From there, I just did a big lap and I didn't really buy anything. I did get a skein of Fuwa from Moondrake. It is 70% brushed cashmere, 30% superwash merino, 315 yards for a skein, fingering weight. Nicole did her milkweed DK using Fuwa held double, and I love the texture changes between your typical very defined stitches and then the fuzzy color work. So I got this to do color work because I think it's cool. I don't know what for. I kind of splurged, but I have no regrets about this because the color, do you see the depth of the color? It's like greens and blacks and browns. It's really pretty. So I'm in. We did more laps, more talking. It was still pretty busy. Then we decided, or Professor Pearl Nicole offered Shelli at Shelli.Can. She's like, do you need lunch? Because she was flying solo in her booth. So we stood in line for pizza for Shelli for a while. I ended up getting delicious basil breadsticks, grabbed a beer, had an IPA, and then for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, we were just outside hanging out. There was plenty of space. Like, tables were crowded, but then you were able to make friends, which was fun. So we ended up meeting some new makers, friends from across the country sat with us. We had a good group just sitting and knitting and enjoying each other's company. It very briefly rained, but they had a huge tent and it was on pavement, so it was no problem. And then really it didn't rain the rest of the day. It was a perfect, honestly, it was supposed to be like 60% rain, I think, and the yarn goddess wanted us to be happy, and we were. So then I slowly kept going back in, back out, back in, back out. And I purchased, I knew I wanted to make the Manhattan vest by Tori Knits NYC, the same pattern designer. It's got a high collar, an asymmetrical split hem, very cool, capped sleeves, and I needed worsted weight yarn. This is what I got. So I got 4 skeins of Pishkun from Farmer's Daughter Fibers. It is 100% Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. And the color is York. I think it is so beautiful. It's like a deep teal, green, blue, I don't know. We all know what I vibe with, and this is it. So here she is. So this is gonna be a vest. I know I'm working on the meal vest right now, but I might just, after I get going hard on my test knit, the funfetti I talked about the last episode, I'm gonna cast this on because I just think this is so pretty. And I wanna wear it immediately, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, with a little white sleeve, long tee underneath. I don't know, over a long sleeve dress, you know. All right, so that's what I got. And then I found the cutest shop that had bandanas. And okay, they're there. So it's Elana Gabrielle. I'm gonna link to all of these makers below so you can check out their stuff. And I ended up getting a bandana for a gift knit that I won't, or for a gift that I won't show. But I got myself a bandana, 2 bandanas with the yarrow and the snakes and the lizards. I thought it was really pretty. And then I couldn't not get this Western. I can't. I think it's so pretty. And I love her art. So follow this gal on Instagram. She was so sweet. I believe she was also a knitter. Just really enjoyable. Nicole and I went back like 4 times. So I bought these 2 bandanas, and then I went back and I bought, Chris and I, my husband and I, we like cloth napkins. And so mushroom, rust colored napkins, adorable. And she threw in washi tape, which was really sweet because I do like a very minimalist bullet journal. And then, hi, follow the flowers. This might go on my car. Do you put bumper stickers on your car? I never have. Like, I worked very hard for my car. She's pretty, like, I bought her in 2020. It's a she. I just, I'm funny that way. And I think I'm gonna put this on my car. I have a white car, and this will blend in, and like follow the flowers, Botanical Knitter, hello. It was so cute. Otherwise, I'll just put it somewhere in my house because it made me happy. So that gal was adorable. Very much enjoyed meeting with her. She was really sweet. I met the 2 gals of the Kindful Knits podcast, Arminda and Laura, and they were so sweet. They were handing out a little progress keeper and needle stoppers. So here's a plug for their podcast. Check them out. I'll link them below, but I thought it was cute. They were handing those out. Also got some stickers from people. And then my last purchase at the Fiber Festival was fiber. I saw San Juan Woolworks when I was at Flock, and I didn't buy anything from them, and I regretted it. So my last swing through was for fiber. I got 4 ounces of this beautiful fin roving. It's so soft. I spun fin for the first time after Flock. I bought it from Brittany. Brittany is 1/2 of, is it Fiber and Flame or Flame and Fiber? I can't remember. Sorry, Brittany. And I loved spinning it. It was from her Flock. So I got more fin, 4 ounces in fact. I mean, look at how cute this card is. And then I got 4 ounces of this blend, and it's fin with a mutt. She called it a mutt, and it's BFL, Romney, Coopsworth, and East Frisian. 4 ounces of this dark brown. It looks black, but it's like a dark chocolate brown. And so I don't have plans for either, but I do think it could be really cool to spin it and marl it together. And I could do definitely a shawl out of this. And it's so soft. It's really cozy. And I'll say the people working in the booth at San Juan Woolworks were lovely. Had really nice conversations with them. I love talking about sheep, and I was like, yeah, someday I would love to have sheep. And they're like, do it. I had cats before, and now I have sheep. You can do it. It's a thing, whatever. So I was like, future enabling, right? So that was that. After Sacred Sheep, Professor Pearl, Nicole, and I hosted a really small meetup at a brewery. Katie from Knitting Oils, I think, joined us along with Jasmine at Crafty Jasmine. And the 4 of us just sat. We talked about reality TV. We talked about knitting and acquisitions and podcasting and Instagram and who we follow and who really cool people are. And it was a good time. So all in all, I had the best time. I always wanted to move to the Pacific Northwest. And then after COVID, when we were forced to stay home for so long, I really loved Minnesota. But now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I really do love looking out the window and seeing the mountains, and the climate is dreamy. I don't mind rain at all. And the rain even here is like, you can still do things in it. So you Pacific Northwesters, you were lucky. I'm a little jelly, but also come visit me in Minnesota because we have a good time too. So that's all I have. I need to finish packing. I packed all my clothes. I checked a bag. Wish me luck unpacking all of this into my suitcase. I think it'll be okay. I will report back. Hi, it's me, reporting back to say no problem with luggage. And I had packed a small little carry-on bag in addition to my backpack that I put all the yarn in. Everything worked. It was fine. I was stressed for no reason. Shocked. So from here on out, I'm gonna insert some footage from my couple days in Portland, from Sacred Sheep, from the meetup, from all of the yarn shops and booths, and I hope you get to have fun living it with me. And if you haven't been to Portland, do it. It's great. The people are really nice. All right, with that, I'm gonna go finish packing. I will see you next time. I hope wherever you are doing well, and we'll catch up soon. Bye.
Sacred Sheep really was a ton of fun, and I know I always say it, but I mean it. Fiber friends and knitting friends are the best friends. I had such a good time meeting new friends, hanging out with Jasmine and Kirsten, and of course Nicole, especially because we were able to get breakfast and go to the Fiber Fest and then grab beers and then had a sleepover on Saturday night. So it was really like the best day.